everybody! It is me, Tokkuri Yashi, your palm tree friend. How is everybody doing? Today, we will start looking at some of the New Year's characters that will be returning in, I would guess, about a week's time. Unfortunately, I'm going to be away Monday, Tuesday, which is when Kasumi's banner goes away and we get a new banner. So, I'm going to have to try and record some videos to preempt what's going. Although, I do not think that when Kasumi goes, we will be getting the New Year's Return banner. I think what will be coming on Monday will be a Overload ceremonial and New Year Valentine's Day returns banner with the Overload Pecorine and Karyl, the ceremonial Kokkoro, and the Valentine's Day Shizuru, because Valentine's Day Shizuru and Valentine's Eriko will be getting their unique equipment 2s on Monday, so it makes sense for that banner to appear. So it might be another week before we see return of the New Year characters, but we'll have a start looking over them. As I say, I'm going to be away a couple of days next week, so we'll make a start because there's quite a lot of them. This is last year's banner. As you can see, there's a lot of characters on there. There will probably be another 2 added this year in the name of Ilya and Sheffy. So we will have a look at them all. Today we're going to do the Gourmet Guild edition of New Year's Returns and have a look at the Gourmet Guild New Year's characters, what they do, and if or not they are a priority to summon for. Now, we did get new free pulls this time last year, so even if you was thinking about skipping these banners, you may get free pulls on them. Good luck to you with them. So it's nice to know what the characters do and which ones you should try to be aiming for. So first we will have a look at Pecorine, New Year's Pecorine, and well, isn't this artwork just a advert for vegetarianism? That poor taco in the background there, crying as it lies out whilst Pecorine's chewing down on his tentacle. I mean, it's a little bit sad. I've always found this a little bit sad, this piece of artwork, even though he was the boss in the story event. Would you want Pecorine to chop your leg off and chew on it once you're sat there crying? No, probably not. Unless you're kind of maybe like that kind of thing. Anyway, poor little taco octopus there in the background. Anyway, we're looking at what Pecorine New Year's will do with their skills and whether or not you should be summoning for it. So, first of all, we've got a Union base. You can see her attack pattern there up at the top. This Union base, basically, the higher her hit points, the more physical damage she does. If she's over 80% hit points, then she will do that second physical damage, the higher amount of physical damage. If she's under it, she will do the lower one. And the damage is scaled by the amount of hit points that she has. So the more hit points, the more damage she does on their physical attack. And also, if she is over 90% hit points, she will also raise her own physical attack for 18 seconds. So again, she wants to be on full hit points. Now, this Pecorine is kind of a tank, although I'll maybe say a sub-tank, because she sits at position 248, which is behind Jita. So, this is, this kind of a thing where you want to have your hit points. You don't really want it to be a tank that is doing that, because you want her to have high hit points as possible. You could sit her behind other characters because she doesn't sit that far forward, but I think her main role really has been tank / sub-tank. So, then we have that. She's also, I'll mention, a light attribute. But when this new update comes into account, the light team is probably quite good. So, she'll have quite a bit of competition with that. So, let's move on to her skill 1, which has a unique equipment, and again it is all based off the amount of hit points that she has. Basically, she will raise the physical attack of herself for 12 seconds. She will also, if her hit points are below 80%, she performs action 5, which is raises physical attack of friendly targets. And if her hit points are not below 90% or above 90%, she will also restore TP to self. So again, another character that is another attack skill that is relying on her hit points being as high as possible. A bit like I say, a bit of a strange mechanic with a character that sits quite close to the front. Her skill 2 deals physical damage to the nearest enemy targets. again, raised with parameter 1 of action 2, so the damage is increased by the amount of hit points that she has, and if the hit points are not below 80%, she will also reduce the physical defense of the nearest enemy target. So there we go, that is what New Year's Pecorine does. I would say for priority, she's not really meta-wise that high a priority. I've not really seen her used recently, and again she's on the light team, so when we're doing attributes, there probably might be other tank sub-tanks that you would use ahead of it. Probably the Overload. The Overload Pecorine might get more use than this New Year's Pecorine. But anyway, let me know what you think about this Pecorine. Let's move on then to Kokkoro. There's Kokkoro's attack pattern. Now Kokkoro actually sits further forward than this Pecorine. She also was, in olden days, used as a bit of a sub-tank, and quite a good sub-tank, but I think she was replaced when Princess Kokkoro was released. Now Princess Kokkoro's got unique equipment. Princess Kokkoro is going to be the best pick always over this New Year's Kokkoro, unless the position, because she does sit quite far forward, this Kokkoro, 159, so she's really within the tank range of positioning, which is really all she's got going for, I believe. She's also another light attribute character. Anyway, her union base here restores hit points herself, restores hit points per second to all friendly targets for 10 seconds, and raises the physical attack of all friendly targets for 18 seconds. Her skill 1, which has also got unique equipment, deploys a barrier over herself that absorbs physical and magical damage. It raises the physical attack of all friendly targets and applies a taunt on herself, so she's taunting and absorbing damage. So definitely a tank / sub-tank role there that this New Year's Kokkoro is performing. She, on her second skill, raises the physical attack, physical crit rate and physical crit damage of the highest physical attack friendly target for 12 seconds. So again, you can see that the Princess Kokkoro is going to more than likely perform a better role than this New Year's Kokkoro. She needs some buffs, a 6-star or unique equipment 2 to really see use again. So not the highest priority meta wise when she returns on the banner, which is a shame, because in the past, especially if you're a global refugee, she did perform a big role, and she maybe has a bit of a sentimental value for some of you out there. Again, let me know what you think of this New Year's Kokkoro. Now we will move to Karyl. Now Karyl is an interesting one here. In the past, she was a must-have, absolutely crazy for damage, for DPS, magical DPS, but she has fallen off. Although we have been announced that with the update for the anniversary, we are going to be getting a damage cap increase. Now people are thinking this Karyl might be returning to favour. She sits quite close to the back, her position is 690 and she is on the dark attribute. So perhaps if you wanted to build a dark team, maybe she will have a bit of a use. Anyway, so have a look what she does. Her union based deals a decent amount of magical damage to the nearest enemy target, and she also raises her magical attack for 18 seconds. Now the buff on this magical attack depends on the damage amount that she does. So the more damage she does, the more she raises her magical attack, the more damage she does. So in the past, you wanted to put this New Year's Karyl on a team with lots of TP buffers for her, so she would keep spamming this union based again and again and again, and the damage would ramp up like crazy. Now this is why, with the damage cap increase, she might come back into favour if she can be put on one of those teams where she can spam a union based and this damage goes into silly amounts. That is something that we're going to have to look out for in a year. This is literally also, hopefully that will happen for her. We will have to see. Her skill 1 again has a unique equipment which shifts the focus to the nearest enemy target and deals magical damage to enemy targets within a 200 range, so a little bit of an AoE damage there as well. And here, main skill 2, which raises magical attack of all friendly targets. Also deploys a barrier over all friendly targets that nullifies physical damage. And then we have the raising of the parameter 1 of action 3 by the magical attack on self. So the higher her magical attack is, the more physical damage she will nullify with that barrier. So this Karyl is an interesting one, and because of that I would probably put her at number 2 priority out of all the New Year's characters that will be returning over the next week or so, in the hope that with this damage cap buff increase she will come back into favour and be absolutely crazy magical DPS once again. She's also a fan favourite too, so I think that might, in a lot of people's cases, increase her value as well. Finally, we will go and look at the last Gourmet Guild, Sheffy, who is quite a new, I say quite, she's 2 years old. She got unique equipment last year. She's one of these characters that has 2 attack patterns. She is also on the light attribute, and she sits at position 283, so again she's a front physical DPS character. So let's have a quick look at what she does. She switches on a union base to attack pattern 2. Until her TP reaches 0, she consumes 100 TP per second, though, which means if you have her on a team with other TP buffers to try to keep this up as long as possible, she might be doing something, she might be cooking a little. She reverts back to attack pattern 1 when she runs out of TP, and this skill does physical damage to enemy targets within 700 range of her, so she is AoE physical damage. So let's just move on quickly. Here we go, her main one. This is on her attack pattern 1 when she is run out of TP or before she union bursts. She will raise the physical attack of friendly targets within 280 range, raise the TP boost of friendly targets within that same range, and deploy a field radius, this time 390, on self that restores hit points per second for 7.5 seconds. So if she has a special skill up with the union base, this Ice Dragon Fang, that's pretty cool. Whilst Ice Dragon Fang is manifesting, she basically does all the same as what she did before, just it's increased. She does more, raises more physical attack, a TP boost, and this radius on self that restores hit points is increased. So you would like it to be this, you would like the Ice Dragon Fan to be manifesting as much as possible. Here, skill 2, this is on attack pattern 1, deals physical damage to front enemy targets in 500 range, more AoE damage there, reduces the physical defense of targets damaged by this action, so it's an AoE physical defense down. Quite a handy thing to have. But if this Ice Dragon, Water Dragon Fang, is it Water or Ice Dragon Fang, is manifesting, then on this time the physical damage and the physical defense reduction is not changed. This time it just adds more physical damage. This looks like it's another action, so she gets a second instance of physical damage to all enemies, so it's a double AoE damage, which is actually looking quite good. A little bit more of a modern skill there. And I have seen this Sheffy, this New Year's Sheffy, used in the last clan battle, I believe. She was actually in one of the team options there. So I will put this Sheffy as one of the higher priorities on the banner to get. If you are lucky enough to get the high priority, we all know that is, she will have a video coming up in the future. If you get New Year's Karyl, then maybe Sheffy will be about third priority. Maybe she could be tied second with Karyl, because we do know that she may be seeing a little bit of action in clan battle. So let me know what you think of the Gourmet Guild New Year characters. We will be going over the other returning characters there. We've got the Twinkle Wish, Yui and Hiyori. We've also got Ilya, and there's the Neneka as well. We will be covering those in the future in other videos. So there we go. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for everybody that subscribed. I am Tokkuri Yashi, your Power 2 friend. I will see you all again for another video. Bye 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 bye. Hey hey.